What's more important, money or happiness? I feel like if I put it that way, a lot of people would choose happiness. But if you don't have money, you can't afford food, shelter, and other necessities. But a life without happiness might be a life not worth living. In reality, it's not one or the other. But sometimes we make decisions where we have to prioritize one over the other. I've decided happiness comes first and money second, which comes with its own set of challenges. And today I want to share how this principle has affected my life. Before I dropped out of university, I got a job as a study coach, which meant I went to students' homes and helped them out with their homework. I really liked this job because I quickly discovered what a profound impact I could have on a student's life by not only giving them the support they need, but by also implementing what I talk about on this channel. Sometimes amazing relationship forms. I remember this one time where my student showed me a video of Tony Robbins saying something about success. After the video, he turned to me and asked, and I quote, "Is this good? Excuse me? You want me to judge if what the Tony Robbins said is good or not?" Tony Robbins, who is amongst other things a life coach and has way more experience than me. One of the reasons he finds me so wise is because I learn from people like Tony. I could barely comprehend the situation, but the feeling I got was incredible. He was looking at me the same way I look at Tony. He puts us in the same league. What? The problem was that since students are at school during the day, I could only see one family, typically for 2 hours per day. So in other words, it's meant to be a part-time job that I wanted to do full-time. I tried to take as many assignments as I could, but after a few months I realized that this won't cut it. During this period, I borrowed money from my brother to be able to afford food and rent. And those weren't small sums either, and I was hit with an ever-increasing amount of guilt. He's helping me to stay at a job that I really like, but still, who am I to spend his well-earned money for my selfish reasons? I felt like I was taking advantage of undeserved generosity, especially since I didn't have a solution on the horizon, so I didn't know how long this could go on for. But at the same time, I thought that the job satisfaction, the fulfillment I felt, was something worth fighting for. So I chose to stay. And even if I didn't know how, I had faith in myself that I was going to figure this out before it was too late. It took me another month, but then I had the genius idea to become a substitute teacher. It felt like a natural progression, and I could still have the same impact, if not even more, since I'd have more students. Being a sub has been a great experience for me. I had English with this high school class twice. They loved me, I loved them, and it was wonderful. Instead of letting them go 10 minutes early, we had a discussion on introverts and extroverts. They got to say what they thought these terms meant, explore which one they were, guess which one I was, and it was great fun. After the lesson, I mentioned to some of the students that I wanted to do this discussion instead of letting them go early. And one of them replied, "I would rather be here and do this discussion than to go home." That comment right there made my heart soar. I mean, you put the time and energy to do something different for them, and then they say something cute like that it's just... The thing I dislike about being a substitute is that frequently I get just enough time to establish an amazing relationship with the students, but I never get to stick around long enough to do amazing things. And it was no different with this class. A month go by and I realized I forgot to share my YouTube channel, which I thought they would enjoy. So one day I decided to go back unannounced. And since I was their substitute, I knew when their lesson began, so I arrived as their teacher was taking their attendance. I opened the door and peeked my head in, and seeing their faces again was a great joy. One of them notices me and goes, "Hey, it's you!" And every head starts to perk up and look at me. A happy atmosphere spreads and I got a warm reception. I didn't want to take too much time from the lesson though, so I shared my YouTube channel and said my final remark. This might be the last time we see each other, so bye! As I turned around to take my leave, they started to applaud and cheer like, woo! I mean, who does that? They did that. The raw emotion I got from that is hard to put into words. I felt like a champion, like I had done something incredible and they wanted to show their appreciation. I can tell you this, that moment is one of the highlights of my entire life. I checked my YouTube channel 15 minutes later and I had gained 18 new subscribers. In other words, plus 75% of them had subscribed during their lesson. I don't know if they did that because they thought the content was gonna be good or they wanted to support me or perhaps both. Regardless, I felt an immense amount of love and support and I couldn't help but smile. And this feeling of love and fulfillment, which words cannot do justice, is something money can't touch. And it's the reason why I fought to remain at these jobs. Sometimes I practically work all day, and once my friend instinctively said, "Oh, that's rough." However, I disagreed because these jobs are in alignment with what I want to do with my life right now, which is to teach others the things that have improved the quality of my life so that they too can feel the joy I do. Although the lessons I teach here on this channel aren't the center of attention at my jobs, I get to help my students in other ways. For instance, by being the leader they need to be able to perform at their natural best. I used to feel guilty for making a decision that put me in a position where I needed help from others. But then I realized that the reason they helped me out is because they know I would have done the same for them. I haven't been able to repay them yet, or maybe they are repaying me for something I did before. That's the thing about loving bonds, it's a give and take kind of deal. Recently I've taken a lot from my relationships, which has made me stronger, wiser and happier, which means I have even more to give back. That's the way I choose to perceive it anyway, and it's the reason why I have no regrets. The path I chose was a risky one. There was no guarantee that it was gonna work out the way it is. You could say I took a leap of faith, which is scary due to all the uncertainties. But I had faith in myself, because I knew I had become strong from knowing all the stuff that I cover on this channel. And if it proved too much for me, I trusted in those who stand close to me to pick me up. The result was a journey involving financial struggle, but I was still very happy because I remained true to myself, which made the struggling all the more bearable. And I hope that my story here today can give you courage to also go in the direction that makes you happy. And until I see you again, take care of yourselves.